Would you agree if I said that your skin is a reflection of what you put inside, or rather, what you put specifically for your body type? Well, that is exactly the reason why every time you consume the wrong food for your gut type or body type, you end up with trouble. Say, for example, you consume eggs, you end up getting acne. This is not a mere coincidence, but rather your body's response to what you have consumed, depending on the climate, time, and the status of your Agni. So welcome to today's episode, wherein we will be elaborately exploring about what Ayurveda has got to say about skin. So what exactly is skin? We know that it is the largest sense organ, the fifth sense organ, which is responsible for taking care of the immunity, protects us from the UV rays, and also helps in the formation of vitamin D. But beyond that, what Ayurveda has got to say is something different. Something that will actually help you in taking charge of your skin health and not just be a mere spectator. So let me walk you through the same. Remember the example that I had mentioned about egg? Similarly, any kind of food, be it paneer, rice, wheat, whatever it be, this food actually helps in the nourishment of the body. Ayurvedically, the human body is actually made of these 7 tissues. And each one of these tissues are formed one after the other. So whenever you consume a food, it will actually first nourish the plasma, followed by blood, then the muscle, fat, bone marrow, brain, and then helps the formation of your reproductive secretions and hormones. Now, whenever the food that you've consumed is extremely heating or it contains excess amount of fat, it will start reflecting on these particular tissues. And that is because whenever the food contains excess amount of spice or salt, immediately the Pitta in the Rakta, which is the blood, starts increasing, and therefore the next formed tissue, which is the muscle, starts getting affected. Now, skin being the upadhatu or the sub-tissue of muscle also undergoes malformation. In other words, whenever you have a skin issue, understand that the food that you have consumed has actually created inflammation in the blood, followed by in the mamsadhatu or muscle. And therefore, it is very important to understand the quality of the food in combination with the status of your gut, your body type, and the climate when you consume the specific food. In short, skin is the subtissue of muscles, and the muscle formation is decided by the blood. So these are the factors that determines the health of your skin. Now that we have understood where the skin is formed from, let's also try to understand what is the impact of 3 doshas on your skin, so that you can also determine what are the factors that decides the status of 3 doshas of your skin. Now, if you have been wondering what can be the relevance of Vata, Pitta and Kapha on your skin, this is what it does. Just so that you understand, it is not just the symptoms that the doshas can give you, but they can also actually help in the functionality of your skin. So, Vata, specifically the Vyana Vata, which is the 4th kind of Vata, is the one responsible for circulation. It can be blood circulation and lymphatic drainage, as well as it helps in the nerve impulse. All the feelings that you have on your skin is because of this particular component on the skin. Second is Pitta. Pitta is not just the one responsible for the redishness of your skin, but instead it also gives you that natural color, the glow, and the pigmentation. And as with respect to Kapha, specifically the Kledaka Kapha is the one which is responsible for the moisture and the elasticity and suppleness of your skin. So these are the natural functions of the 3 doshas. Now that we know what is the impact of the 3 doshas on the skin, let us also try to dive a bit more deeper, which is understanding the layers of skin. Now, we often tend to think that it's only with the advent of microscope that we have been able to understand about the skin layers. But interestingly, even 4,000 years back, Sushrutacharya had actually mentioned about the 7 layers of skin, which exactly corresponds to 7 layers as being mentioned in the modern medicine. Now, if you're keen to learn about that, keep watching and let's not just understand the 7 layers, but also the functions and what it can do to your skin. As for the modern science, there are basically two main layers, which is epidermis and dermis. Against the epidermis, you have got these 4 layers, and against the dermis, you have got these 3 layers. Now, this is as per the modern science. And if you see Ayurvedically, correspondingly, you have got these 7 layers. Now, the advantage of knowing the layers Ayurvedically, it's more like understanding the various layers of a fabric. The deeper the layer of the fabric, the deeper is the skin condition, which means if you have a condition of the avabhasini layer, it is easier to be treated. Not just that, each of these layers have got a specific function. And let's try to explore that in deeper. Let's go through each of the layers with the symptoms that you might be experiencing. Now, if you are somebody who is experiencing dullness, tanning, tired greyish looking skin after sun exposure, dehydration, long day, then in that case, it is the avabhasini layer that is getting affected. In fact, this is the layer that you get to see on the mirror, the glowing part of your skin. Next comes in the second layer. If you are somebody who becomes red out of anger, or when you consume spicy food, you have a reddish undertone, it is this layer that is getting activated. So every time you have flushing, reddishness, rashes, or heat rashes, then in that case, it is the reddish undertone of lohita layer that is getting triggered, which means it is directly linked to rakta dhatu or blood tissue. Now, next comes a layer that which is actually responsible for the undertone. If you have been experiencing uneven tone, blotchiness, patchiness, then it is the smoothness of this particular layer or the stratum granulosum that which is getting hampered. So it is not just a case of the oil-water balance out in the first layer, but it is actually the functionality of the layer Shweta that is responsible for the even tone of your face. Now the fourth one is the internal fire protector. This copper-colored or copper-toned layer, which is called tamra or the malphigian layer, is the one actually which protects you from the heat from the sunstroke. Say for example, if you experience excessive burning sensation, or if it takes a lot of time for the skin to heal, then in that case, it is the tamra layer which is undergoing malfunctioning, especially when the sravata or the liquidity of pitta, when it gets hampered, it is this layer which gets malformed. So the next time you have burning sensation, it is not just about any pitta, but it is the pitta imbalance in this particular layer which is giving you trouble. And if you're somebody with every stress response or anxiety, palpitation, you start feeling weird sensation on your face, then in that case, it is the fifth layer, the Vedini layer, wherein the nervous system is established. That is where the malformation happens. So here is where the Vata predominantly functions. The next time you have burning sensation, itching, pulsating sensation, something crawling on your face, then it is actually the Vata imbalance out here that is causing the trouble. Next comes in the sixth layer or the Rohini layer. If you are somebody who gets repeated breakouts, keloids, or scar tissues which takes a lot of time to heal, then in that case it is the Rohini layer where the malformation is. This particular layer is the one responsible for the regeneration of tissues. So whenever you are experiencing long-standing scarring, then it is because of thickened skin layer or because of long-standing dehydration. When you correct the dehydration, circulation, and helps in the dhatu poshana or the cellular regeneration, then the formation of keloids can be reduced, as well as the scar formation from acne can also be tackled. Now you see, these 6 layers predominantly functions with the functionality of your body. It is like pain, burning, redness, rashes, awkward sensations, all of these. Now the 7th layer, which is the Mamsadhara Kala or the hypodermis, which is actually responsible for the strength, suppleness and fullness of your skin. Not just that. It is this particular layer wherein deeper skin issues like lichal planus, psoriasis happens, wherein there is Rasadhatu, which is the plasma, Rakta Dhatu, which is the blood, and the Mamsadhatu, which is your muscle, which is being involved. Which means only when you handle these 3 layers, conditions like psoriasis, lichen planus and the like can be managed. And therefore, external applications alone are not enough whenever you are having long-standing conditions like these. So you see, Your skin is nothing but the quality of your food as per your body type, the quality and quantity of your sleep, and how you deal with stress. So the next time you're wondering why you're getting the skin disease, understand that it will be any of these 3 factors that could be going wrong. To know more about the skin condition that you might be struggling with, join us for the masterclass. And in this masterclass, we will be talking about the reasons for acne, what to do, dry skin, pigmentation of skin, dandruff, what are the kind of foods that you can consume whenever you have a skin condition or if you want to prevent skin conditions, and many more such topics. Literally, there are 25 topics that we are planning to cover. So do join in for the masterclass to learn more. If you want me to discuss any more topics during the masterclass, do let me know in the comments. And to know how to register for the masterclass, do check out the caption.